The Big Al Podcast with your host, Al Bishop, unfiltered and uncut.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by Demarte Pena, your current Bantamweight champion, who's made some time for us late at night to squeeze in a quick call. Demarte, how's it going? Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Yeah, it's only a pleasure, man. I know you're very busy at the moment. It seems like you're training back to back. Is it a matter of kind of making up for lost time after the fighter?
Yeah, I mean, with the fighter, it was hard to manage my time. I had to train my own sessions and also have to go and train with the guys. But initially it was very hard, but later on I was training more with the guys and making up the sessions with them. But I'm just glad, the show was great. Got really great content, good exposure for myself, MMA as a whole, and obviously with UFC. But I'm just glad now that I'm able to put in the hours that I normally do.
Okay, and just talk us through what are your days like at the moment? Because it seems obviously we've been in touch that you're back to back, really going at it, man. You guys have mentioned that you're putting in something like 4 sessions a day. What is a day like in the life of Demarte Pena at the moment?
Yeah, this time normally I would lift every other day. Let's say on a Tuesday, Thursday, maybe Friday. Then the other days I'll just do kettlebells as conditioning. This time I'm doing kettlebells and lifting every single day. Obviously then there's my jit session, wrestling, our technical stand-up session, then also my extra sessions that I do. Either I'll go swim, run, or do extra bag work or ground and pound, and I've also been doing a lot of more boxing for this coming fight with Sayed. So yeah, I'm pretty much putting around 4 to 5 sessions every day now leading up to the fight. Just dieting my weight down. I'm feeling good, and yeah, just going out these last 3-4 weeks left and just deload for the fight, make sure that I'm well rested. You can train hard, but if you're not rested enough, then that's a big problem.
Yes, absolutely, man. And I think that's one of the bigger movements at the moment. Guys are really starting to put in a lot of focus to rest and recovery, to kind of balance out all aspects. I mean, it sounds like a serious load of work that you've got going there. I just wanted to ask you, Demarte, you mentioned the boxing there. You're spending quite a bit of time. Is it at Hotbox with Colin Nathan?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I'm trying to box there 3 times a week. The guys are really, really good. A lot of multiple African and world champions that side. Boxing is such a different sport to what we do, for me as well. And it's great that I can improve my hands, and it's going to show when I fight Sayed on the 16th. So yeah, great exposure for myself.
Sure. And man, is that something that you've specifically sought out for the fight coming up with Sayed, or is it just a continuation of what you've already been doing and something just trying to like sharpen up your toolbox kind of thing? So basically, is it directly something you're doing in preparation for Sayed, or something you were always going to do anyway?
Yeah, I believe I was going to do it anyway. You always want to improve every aspect, and I feel that my kicking game has come right, my wrestling, I think every other aspect has come all right. I think now just focusing more on my hands. They haven't been bad, but they can be better. Like I think every other person every other fighter is always looking to improve, and I feel that that's the next step for me as a fighter.
Oh, that's 100%. Demarte, one of the main things I wanted to chat about was the fighter. Obviously, it's been on for a little while on TV. It's got a lot of positive feedback. One of the things I noticed from the outset there was the theme of almost you being painted in a bit of a weird light, a different light we perhaps haven't seen, and I know there were guys saying weird things on social media, like about you bonding with your team and all sorts of weird things. And I think, unfortunately, in these sort of shows, there always has to be some sort of villain. And in the very beginning, it looked like it was almost you. It was kind of angled that you're not being around for your team kind of thing, and which obviously it's the beauty of TV, of reality TV. Someone unfortunately has to get painted in their light. Just talk us through what the whole experience was like, and what it was like when this thing started airing, and people started saying things and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the show was great. Funny enough, that same night that the guys got into the house, I told them, get comfortable. You don't have to train tonight. Just rest. Make sure you get comfortable. Tomorrow we're going to start training again. We also had a WhatsApp group that same day. Day, and then we were communicating, see what we're going to do. So obviously, it's still a show, and people still need to come up with things in order for people to talk about. So
sure.
I understand, ESP, they're trying to create this whole storyline, but I have a great team, on the show. We bonded quite well. At first, it was strictly training based on the actual fight, but then leading in the beginning and leading to the end, we actually found good friends. I think I got friends for life, so it's been a great experience for myself, and it was an enjoyable experience.
Sure, and you got to be on the reverse side as a coach. A lot of people talk about as you coach, you learn. Did you find that sort of thing coming through for you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I also have clients, I have private clients. You're always learning. I mean, that's the thing about the sport. The beauty of it is that you never know everything, and when you do, that's when you get punished. So I'm always learning. I'm always watching how also my trainer coaches and how he sees the game. It's like Richard Kwan is always studying the game, and for me as well, that's one thing that I'm doing a lot more for this fight. Leading up for this fight, I'm studying more about fighting, not just. I'm going back to like pure wrestling, pure jiu-jitsu, pure boxing, just to see everything that you can add into your own game, because obviously not everything works in an MMA fight. So a lot of things that in wrestling that will not necessarily work, So you're just trying to mix everything up in order for you to help your MMA game. So that's been quite a great journey for me.
All right, fantastic. And you mentioned you guys bonded and you had quite a close-knit team. How difficult was it in the beginning? I got to interview the guys just before they left, and it was interesting, the language barrier and the cultural dynamic, and it was generally, even for me, like the first few minutes, just to kind of gauge who were the talkers, who were the more quieter guys, and whose English was stronger than the others. What was that like, dealing with different personalities, cultures, and languages? Was it quite difficult in the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. Bantamweight, he couldn't speak English.
Sure.
I think he was the biggest problem. And Brazilian, at least I could speak Portuguese, and his English wasn't the best, but he spoke English as well.
Sure.
I think our biggest issue was Bantamweight and Ibrahim. Both of them can't speak English, and luckily I had a teammate of mine, Mamadou, that was there. He could speak French, and I was able to translate, but in the fight it was hard because you want to tell him to do something, but you have to first say to one guy, then he translates it to him. So that was quite a huge barrier. But yeah, we managed to overcome, the best we could.
I was actually just thinking about that. That's really what made me think about it was you and Frenchie cornering one of the fights, and you trying to get him to get a message across, and it was like quite urgent, like tell him to shoot Frenchie or whatever it was. It was quite laughing.
Exactly.
Which it's like things you never think about as a spectator. You're kind of just watching this thing, and you're desperately trying to like give this guy the information that he needs to win the fight, and there's the language barrier. So that was really where the question stemmed from. Like it seemed like it was quite a task at times to try and get the message across.
Yeah, absolutely. And even in training, there's a lot of stuff that sometimes Frenchie wasn't there, and what do you do? When we were training, so Google Translate.
Sure. Then obviously the culmination is the fight between yourself and Irshaad Sayed, the unification again after the no contest. What was it like?
Yeah.
Obviously, in the beginning of the show, we saw there was a lot of heated exchanges, and again, it's a show, and they have to do what they have to do. But again, it put such a strange light on the two of you guys. You know what I mean? Which I suppose is the beauty of the show. What was it like having to deal with the jabs being thrown by Irshaad and being in his company and stuff like that? Is it more motivating? Does it kind of give you an anger that you become more motivated for the fight, or was it just kind of like you understood that it was a show and most of the time he was probably just saying things to make good content?
I didn't expect a lot of good to come from his side, obviously, from what had happened.
Sure.
After the first few times of film, I saw his angle, and that's what he tried to play for the whole show. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily be more motivated because every time I'm motivated to win the fight and to obviously hurt the guy, or he's gonna hurt you. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's easier now that the show has ended for probably a few weeks. We stopped filming a few weeks. We stopped filming a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's easier now, I think. But being in his company didn't really matter that much to me, to be honest. I'm still gonna put in as much work, even if there were no show. And I'm just excited to be able to compete again, to be honest. And I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna fight my heart out, and I'm definitely gonna win this fight again.
Absolutely, man, and it's going to become another historic event for the EFC. The first time going to Midland, Maine. I just want to, if I'm correct, the fighter was filmed in there, so you guys are pretty used to the arena. Is that correct? Yes. And what did you make of it? Yeah.
Yeah, the arena is absolutely amazing. The whole setup there is incredible. The fights were in another hall that's still there in Midland, Maine. I haven't seen the actual arena where we will be competing, but it's unbelievable as well from what I've heard. Yeah, so that's where the fight's going to be on the 16th of December. I'm excited for that. I'm actually, when I came to South Africa, I stayed in Pretoria. I stayed in Pretoria most of my life.
Okay.
So that's like, my home away from home.
The homecoming, eh?
Yeah.
And you were going through there saying that you're going back to pure wrestling and jiu-jitsu and boxing and stuff. Obviously, to put the question in a way, there's no way that you're overlooking Irshaad Sayed. Obviously, he brings a lot of skills to the table. So are you doing anything different, having the hindsight of facing him before for 5 rounds? A lot of people said, or a lot of opinion was that you beat him at his game. You know what I mean? But now you both, in hindsight, have that fight back in the history books to kind of expect a few things from each other. So have you prepared different things and have you tweaked things where you saw more weaknesses from him?
Yeah, I think what I've learned a lot more is from actually his other fights than from my own fights. There's a lot of patterns that he follows that I didn't use that well when I fought him. And I could see a lot of things from when he fought other guys, how he reacts to certain movements and pressures. So that's what I'm going to look to exploit more. The good thing is that I understand his strength. As physically, I don't think he's going to be any stronger than what he was that time. I felt his power. His movement as well. So he says he's going to be more aggressive for this fight. And he's going to be more forward. He's going to try to take more risks. I mean, that should be amazing for me. If he wants to be careless, then he's going to be in big problems. So yeah, for me, I'm going to surprise him a lot more on the feet this time. And I'm going to be more unpredictable with my striking and my takedowns, because in the last fight, I stood mostly with him, and I think I attempted like not more than 4 takedowns. So this time it's going to be more unpredictable stuff. And if he thinks he's going to get hit, he's going to get taken out. If he thinks he's going to get taken out, he's going to get hit. And he's going to be overwhelmed. And I'm seeing this fight, me finishing him for sure.
All right. Just on that note there, Demarte, you said that you spent a lot more time standing. Was there a part of you in that fight that perhaps wanted to prove a point, not only to the doubters, let's say, Irshaad himself as well, and to yourself, that you could stand with anybody in the game?
Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of, not necessarily prove a point, but, that whole wrestling stigma that I've had for a while in my career. I mean, I've been spending, let's say, in the gym as such with top strikers, and I handle myself very, very well. But if I find someone that I'm way better than you on the wrestling, I'm going to wrestle you. You know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
I'm not there to necessarily prove a point, but I felt that with him, he was expecting the wrestling so much that by standing with him, he was going to be so surprised with that, and it was going to be something that we're going to have an advantage,
Sure.
So now he can expect either the stand-up or the wrestling. So he has a lot more things to think about now. So maybe he'll be more aggressive, or maybe he won't. So we'll see. But either way, if he was going to expose himself more, then even better for me.
Fantastic. The last thing I just want to go through with you, Demarte, was what did you think of the talent in the house that you got to saw? Obviously, not only your team, but overall as the talent pool that the EFC had got together there.
The talent was unbelievable. Is unbelievable. There's a lot of guys coming from all corners of the world. I was very impressed with my team and the quality of guys that I've had. The only thing that the guys struggled with a lot was obviously the whole setup of having to live with someone that you're going to fight. And the altitude made a huge factor in their performances. You could see guys getting tired in the first, second round. But all that obviously comes with the pressures of having to be flown into an altitude area such as Johannesburg and having to fight guys and living in a place, your coaches are not there. All that, I think, having to play. But obviously, guys are going to be coming back into EFC. Now we've seen that guy, Max Merton, is fighting. And then also in the EFC 66, obviously he's going to be more prepared, having a better camp with his usual trainers. So I think many aspects affected the quality of the performances. But if you look at all those guys and the other fights in the head and other promotions that were unbelievable, and we'll be able to see their full potential when they come back and fight again in UFC.
Sure, man. That was one of the things. Even just in the most recent one with Gustavo in his fight and Abdel, it just seemed like the guys were gassing quite quickly, and I wondered, is it the altitude? Did the guys arrive a little bit unfit? Maybe they had to cut too much weight. There's a lot of factors. So do you think that a lot of the guys suffered with the altitude?
Yeah, for sure. That was the biggest issue, okay. I think, with both teams is the altitude, and you having to fight 2-3 fights in a short period of time as well. Not having your right nutritionist from where you're coming from, your coaches and your processes. So there's quite a lot of things that would affect your conditioning. Obviously, traveling and having to do that kind of setup.
Yeah, geez, man. it's a hell of an operation, but I mean, it's obviously, again, it's the first one. There's going to be some teething, but I think the show's been great. I think it's great to see that side of you guys. Like I said in the beginning, there were guys saying strange things about you bonding with your team, which doesn't really make sense, because if you listen and watch to how excited and how passionate you are about your guys doing well, I think you don't have to really dive too far to see that you're very passionate about your team doing well. You can hear the excitement level in your voice at cage side, trying to urge the guys to get up and keep going. So I don't know where those strange claims come from. Obviously, people are getting suckered into the beauty of reality TV. But yeah, man, it's great to watch and it's great to see.
Thank you.
It's only a pleasure, Demarte. It's only going to be first step in the history books, that, and I think they couldn't have picked a better matchup. Obviously, this is the grudge match in the EFC. It's you're two guys that clearly don't like each other, by some crazy means in the MMA world and the MMA gods, whatever you want to call it. We get to rerun it and do it again. I'm for one not complaining.
Yeah.
We get to see you guys go at it again. So just give us a little rundown of what you expect from Fight Night, and one last message for Irshaad Sayed.
Yeah, this time finally putting this chat to rest. You always want to look towards fighting someone new. But this guy, I get the privilege of beating him one more time. I'm just gonna further outclass him on the feet, destroy him on the ground, and I'm looking to finish this fight.
Fantastic. Cool, man. Fantastic, Demarte. Thanks, man. Again, really appreciate your time. I know you're really tired and you've got very long days. I don't envy those 4 or 5 sessions a day, I must be honest. And thank you again for your time, man. It's always a privilege and an honor to have you on here, and we appreciate the time that you always make for us, man. And we wish you all the best for the rest of your camp, and we hope you have a safe and a good camp.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thanks a lot for the opportunity, man.
Thank you, man, and have a good evening and get some rest, brother. Have a good one.
Yeah, you. Thank you, man, and you.
Cheers. Sure, thanks, Demarte. When we're out, ciao, brother.
Cheers.